Welcome to my doghouse. I'm so happy today. In 2 more days, it'll be 6 months, and I can change my semi annual socks. It will be nice. Well, really, what I've got on here is hating for the sake of hating. Yes, people hate for the sake to hate. And I don't care what part of this country or world you live in, people do it. People will hate just to hate. People will hate just because they know if they don't hate, they can't make as much money. People are so miserable at times, they will hate just because they're so miserable. If they don't hate, they're not a bully, they cannot exist in this world. They could if they put their mind to it, but they're in the mindset that's all they can do. I've had bosses, I've had all kinds of people out there that's the way they live. If they could not hate, they could not get along with anybody. You got them people out there that hate for the sake of hating just to make themselves feel good. And I see people on here sometimes, and they I don't think they know how to love. All they know how to is hate, but yet they will try to spread love or say how much they love, how much they're a Christian, how much they're a God fearing person. But in the end, their actions are 100% different than that. That's a person that loves to hate, loves to hate himself. Well, maybe not love to hate himself, but he hates himself or her. Believe me, that has nothing to do with one or one type of person, man, female, whatever. They will hate to hate. If you give them something out front that's 100% positive, they will find a way to hate something because they cannot stand the fact that people don't have to live in hate. A good example on here too, on YouTube. Damn nose. Uh, on YouTube here is you get on there, and I do a lot of shorts. I do a lot more shorts than I do anything else. If you say positive things, you will actually get people to hate it. That's people loving to hate for the sake of hate. And you look at other people when they put positive stuff out, they are hated by a lot of people because they just don't know how to handle love. They can handle hate, but they don't know how to go the next step to love. Yes, it's either love or hate. Some people think, well, it's kind of in between. No, you either love something or you hate something. There's no such thing as neutral when it comes to love or hate. That's like, and personally, I don't care if somebody believes in God or don't believe in God, that's their own business. But it's like saying, well, I almost believe in God. You either believe in it or you don't. Or you get stopped for a speeding ticket and go, well, I almost was under the speed limit. You either was under the speed limit or over the speed limit when you got stopped for the speeding ticket. Or going to a bank and go, well, I almost didn't rob this bank today. You either robbed it or you didn't. Sometimes there is a fine line between things, but between love and hate, there is no fine line. It's either or. I know I got friends that'll argue different than that, but it's either or. Yeah, you might know people you don't really hate, but you have a little bit of suspicion of what's going on. That's a little different. I'm talking about the individual themselves. Either they like themselves or they hate themselves. It's not about a person's perception, it's about the person themselves. I can have all kinds of opinions about people on here, whether I like them or not. That's one thing. But I'm talking about individuals hating themselves for the sake of hating themselves. And they do it all the time. Animals will do that all the time too. Look around. It's so much funny what people will and will not do to cover themselves when they're so miserable. They hate the world, but they got to do everything in the world to make you think they don't. Just look at their actions. Not once, after they're out a few times, take a look at what they're doing. This is not judging the person. This is observing what's going on. And there is a big difference. Like I can go judge my neighbor. I have no clue who that is or anything else. That's wrong. But if I see him doing certain things and observing him, and all of a sudden this and that's happened, it becomes reality. But come on, people. We need to get away from the fact that we need to hate just for the sake of hating. We all hate things in this life, and all get people we don't really care for in this life. But when you put yourself in the mindset all you're going to do all your life is hate, you will spew hate. People will see the hate, and you will notice they see the hate, and you will hate more. It's just the way life is. Remember, hating to hate is not good. If you're going to spend your whole life hating everything and everyone, you're really hating yourself too. You may be arguing with yourself, you're not, but bottom line is you're still hating yourself. And we all do things we hate about ourselves, but we correct it. But when you're not willing to take that step, there's a problem. Can you imagine how better the children in our society would be if the parents of negative people would teach them how to love and not to hate? How much better off we would be in life if that would occur. But yeah, over the years I've worked with some mostly good people. But there's always them out there because they don't like anything around them or anything else. They will teach their children how to hate. And they don't know anything but how to hate. They're not taught. They may be loved at home, but they're not taught how to love other people. All they see is their parents hating others, and they think that's normal. You can have a child that loves you to death, and you love that child to death, which is a good thing to do. Don't get me wrong. That's the way life should be. But when you take that out of context and show your hate for other people, that is bad. We cannot be in a spot where we do not love others. I'm not talking about family. We have to love others, not hate others. If we see somebody that's not quite all there, and I'm starting to despise a guy that just goes after him, stab, poke, 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 because they don't like this person and wants to destroy this person, regardless who goes down with this person. That's a sign you hate yourself. You're trying to cover up for something you may be part of the problem. But if you don't recognize a problem, if you're not willing to fix the problem, you will hate. You will hate yourself. You will say to the world how great you are, but inside, you know you hate yourself. And this is a bad, bad situation when you do that. Not only family, friends, it it shows all over, and you just don't. You get to the point you don't know how to love. All you can do is hate for the sake of hate because it makes you feel good because you haven't got over the hump on how to love. Without love, we have nothing in this world. You have to show love. You have to be around people and show love, kindness, and compassion. But compassion is very, very important. And a good example of this, I've seen this, and even on here, somebody hating somebody, and maybe a little compassion is needs shown because mentally, maybe not all here, but the hate will always overcome the compassion, and hate will consume you over good. And nobody can convince you that hate is not number one in your book. You think it ain't, but it is. I've got people around me, the neighbors, they just hate, they love life, but they hate the things going around, and they're so negative. If it wasn't for them hating things and hating themselves, they would be short of love. Their love is how to hate. Even family members, how to hate your family members in order to have peace with yourself. And in your mind, you will think, if I hate myself, and you, like I say, you're thinking you love yourself, and you keep hating and hating and hating and hating, you will never gain nothing from it. Because your hate, hate, hate will come out all over wherever you go. Regardless if you don't think it's there, it is there. If you're not willing to recognize hate, you will never be able to correct it.